Whew, man. Discovery on YouTube, it can be rough. For 2 years, I hit Twitter really hard. Got millions of impressions and views. I don't know what the total number was, but I think I was averaging something like 150,000, 200,000 impressions per month at the time that I kind of stopped doing Twitter. In that time frame, about 2% of my views were coming from Twitter. It's not even a very accurate representation of what Twitter was able to do for me, because some of those Twitter views came from people who were watching me on YouTube and then, started following me on Twitter. When they are in their little rabbit hole on X or Instagram, it is really hard to get them to jump ship onto your YouTube channel. On top of that, platforms like Instagram and Facebook, they like to make it difficult. They want to keep people on platform, and they suppress links and they do things in order to keep those viewers on platform and to keep you from garnering your viewership to come over onto YouTube. Nobody is going to hold a lit match to the potential viewership that you have on YouTube versus all of the other platforms combined. Now, we're all aware of the things that you can do in order to make a video go viral. You have that splashy thumbnail, you have that amazing title, and obviously you have to have created a video that caters to virality. Something like a boat exploding in a volcano. There is something that a lot of the SEO strategists and the gurus and everybody don't really talk about too much, and I don't understand why. Because it is stupid, simple things that you can do to your video in order to help it get discovered by audiences that are looking for it specifically and that weren't going to find it otherwise. Right now, I'm going to look at 2 different options that are made available to you in order to increase your searchability, in order to increase your video's ability to get discovered, not only on YouTube, but also on other websites outside of YouTube, specifically Google. Also going to take a look at how you can utilize these things to specifically make them work. Because you're probably doing some of these things, but you're just not doing them in the way that gets you discovered. So the first one we're going to talk about is going to be your community tab. A lot of people don't realize that they have access to the community tab and they need to use it. Here's the deal. YouTube is a video hosting website that is perusing as a social media platform. They want to increase engagement on the platform. They want to get more people actively involved in their videos. So they're introducing things like the hype leaderboard, communities, and a bunch of different other things. One of those things is the community tab. They're allowing you to make social media-like posts onto your channel for whatever purpose. That's kind of the crux of the problem here, is that it's the whatever purpose. There needs to be a specific intent regarding what you are going to make that post on. Here's what I suggest you do with your community post, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. You need to make a post on your community tab probably 3 to 5 times per week. If you can do more, absolutely. 3 to 5 posts per week is a very strong, very solid cadence for something that is pretty much a really easy thing to do. You use it to help foster deeper connections and relationships with the people who have subscribed to your channel. The wonderful thing about the community tab, you don't have to follow any rules. If you are making content about baking, you can post pictures, polls, commentary, and you can even post videos about your cat, and people are all right with that. It doesn't interfere with your content. It doesn't interfere with the strategy that you're trying to focus your channel on. It gives these viewers that deeper connection. It's an excellent way to show these other things that are happening in your life. The other thing that you need to be doing is at least once per week, you need to be posting some kind of post that links to a video. Don't do things like Hollywood Exposed. They publish their video and then immediately make a community post following that in order to advertise the video that they just published. To me, when I am watching videos on YouTube, I see the double post, and it just clutters up my subscriptions feed, and it does not convince me to want to click on that video anymore. I'm gonna watch that video, but I'm gonna watch it in my time. I wanna watch it when I am in the mood to sit down and watch Hollywood Exposed. The community post doesn't help with that. However, if something happened right now, for example, if something happened with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, if there was some kind of update onto that whole situation that happened 5 years ago, and if I made a bunch of videos about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, then on my community tab, right now, I would be making a post about, hey, here's an update going on with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Also, here's a link to a video I made about this a couple years ago so that you can get up to speed with the story that's going on and what happened behind the scenes and all that. Another thing that I like to do is have my Throwback Thursday post. Now, I've made over 1,000 videos on my channel. So I would really like to maybe kick the tires on older videos that people really enjoyed watching. They had a good amount of watch time, but they're just kind of trailing off after a couple of years. I have new subscribers now that I didn't have 5 years ago. I would like to introduce them into some of the content that got me where I am. It was really good videos, and I'd like to get those going again. Also, there are going to be videos that have higher CPMs. Maybe they have some affiliate links that I really want to push. Every Thursday, I'm going to have a Throwback Thursday, like, hey, here's a video that you might have missed, and it was a really great video. You ought to check this out. You're thinking right now that, okay, that Throwback Thursday, I'm throwing it in front of these new subscribers, people who have not watched all my videos, and now I'm getting a few extra views from these subscribers. And that's wonderful and that's great, and yes, absolutely, that is one of the perks of doing this. But there's a secret behind the scenes that is going on that you're not aware of, and it is absolutely the reason you need to be taking advantage of this opportunity. These posts are publicly indexed on YouTube. What that means is that when I am searching through my feed of videos on YouTube, there's going to be a shelf that caters specifically to the community tab, and not necessarily for channels that I have subscribed to. YouTube shares that out in the exact same way they share out regular videos. They've got their own little shelf, but you can get suggested posts from channels that you are not subscribed to, which means when you make a post, your post can get in front of viewers who would not have found you otherwise. These links, these behind the scenes posts, when you make them, understand that these may be getting put in front of eyeballs that are not subscribed, and that is a potential audience that you have not yet taken advantage of. The other thing that is largely highly underappreciated are video chapters. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a trick on how to do chapters super easy in just a moment. But before I do, let me tell you why they are so undervalued and underappreciated, and why they are so valuable. Chapters offer an opportunity for the viewer to go through if they're not enjoying a select part of a video. If they clicked on your video and they're like, oh, I don't need this part, I'm here for this part. Chapters give an opportunity for that viewer to skip ahead to the point where they need to go. It gives you the opportunity to direct them. That viewer may have skipped ahead 30 seconds, but if you have the chapter at the 20-second mark, well, you just gained yourself an extra 10 seconds of view time because you directed that viewer where they needed to go. Now, a lot of creators have a fear of putting chapters in the video because they are concerned that it allows the viewer to skip ahead, and they're skipping parts of the video, and that's parts of the video that they're not watching. But the reality is you are creating a second opportunity to keep that viewer watching your video by directing them to the point that you know is the best spot for them to go to and try to keep them watching. I would suggest having more of the chapters front-loaded, have them more towards the beginning of the video. I would have less chapters towards the end, and typically I do not like to have chapters in the last, say, 30% of the video, because I want to keep them around for as long as possible, obviously. But I am also not going to have a fear of having a chapter at the 30% mark towards the end of the video. If it needs to be there, I'm going to put it there in the hopes that I'm recapturing a view, whereas the viewer would otherwise, skip ahead to something else. Here's the hidden secret behind chapters that people are just not taking advantage of. Chapters are individually indexed in Google search. That is so much more powerful than people think. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. So what that means is that a video can be discovered via the SEO of an individual chapter. In the video game Red Dead Redemption 2, there is a quest that you can complete, like a task in the game, is that you can collect this series of tarot cards. And there's like a bunch of them. Let's say that that is the last card that I need in order to fulfill the entire collection. I need the 10 of Cups, but I absolutely cannot find this thing. If you go into Google search and you search for RDR2, where do I find the 10 of Cups card? Scroll down through the Google page and you're going to find what is called a video carousel. This is a video that a creator made, and it shows you how to find all of the different cards for that entire series. This video surfaced for me in this search because they had a chapter dedicated specifically to that one specific card. I found the entire video that I needed based on that one chapter. You can utilize the SEO advantages of the chapter titles in order to get in front of viewers who are looking for these individual and specific topics. Do not sleep on chapters for your video, especially when it is so easy to put them on there. First, upload your video to YouTube as an unlisted video. You need to be doing this anyway. I'll talk more about why you need to do that later. But to keep things quick and easy, when you upload a video, upload it unlisted. And when that thing is done uploading and when it has processed, then you'll be able to go to that video on the YouTube watch page, go down to the description of the video, and at the bottom of it is an option for you to pull the transcript of that video. Highlight that entire section in the transcript box, then go over to Gemini or Grok or ChatGPT, whatever thing you use, plug it in and use this prompt. Take this transcript and turn it into a series of chapters for the videos along with timestamps that I can enter into the description of my YouTube video. Now you can simply copy that and paste it into the bottom of the description on your video and your chapters are good to go. Now I would suggest going in and editing those chapter titles in order to align more with the SEO that you are specifically targeting. But what the ChatGPT or Gemini or whoever you use, what the AI puts in there is probably going to work pretty good for you. If you enjoyed that, if it works out well for you, please consider subscribing. I would very much enjoy having you along my YouTube growth journey. And leave me a comment down below. I'm very curious to know your thoughts, and I'm wondering if you were doing the same thing, or if you have any thoughts or questions about any of that. I am more than happy to answer every single question that I get. Good luck to you and your channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.